Hi, this is Carrie, and this is my presentation on light pollution and its impact on the environment. Light pollution is excess or obtrusive light created by humans. Among other effects, it causes adverse health effects, obscures stars to city dwellers, interferes with astronomical observatories, wastes energy, and disrupts ecosystems. It's been just over 130 years since Thomas Edison invented the incandescent light back in 1879. And as you can see here, it's spread all over the world. This is a picture that NASA has taken from space where they pieced together some night pictures to show the amount of light that is being cast upward into space from Earth. For millions of years on planet Earth, it has been light during the day and dark at night. Life on Earth, man included, has evolved under these conditions. Our eyes have two different kinds of receptors for day and night vision. So this one here is a cone, and this more flat one here is a rod. So the cones are your daytime vision. They see details very well, and they see colors very well. And the rods are for your nighttime vision. They don't see colors as well, and they're not as your vision isn't as sharp, but it can see a lot more at night than your rods can. So even without a moon in the sky, the rods allow you to be able to see at night, just using the starlight. So your eyes can adjust to the night vision. If you give it some time, your eyes can adjust to where they can see. But then if you're exposed to some bright light, it messes that up. It goes back to more like your daytime vision. And then once that bright light that you've been exposed to is turned off, then it takes several minutes for your nighttime vision to come back. But the point here is that even your eyeball has evolved for these conditions, for having daytime vision and nighttime vision. There's three types of light pollution: glare, light trespass, and sky glow. So the first one, glare, is caused by overlighting or badly placed lights where the light shines directly into the eye. This is usually caused by an unshielded light source where one can actually see the filament of the light bulb. Glare can cause hazardous driving conditions and reduce contrast between light and dark areas, making it hard to see details in the areas to either side of the glare source. After experiencing glare, it then takes the eye some time to readapt to normal night vision. Light trespass occurs when unwanted light enters one's property from a source outside of one's property. A common light trespass problem occurs when light enters the window of one's home, causing problems such as sleep deprivation or the blocking of an evening view. This is actually a hotel in Waikiki on Ala Moana Boulevard. This is the Doubletree Hotel, and next door to it is a hostel. And this glare source right here is actually coming from a light bulb right here that is a floodlight. Where they're trying to light their sign here, which you can't even read because it's so overlit, but that instead of lighting it from the top down, they've lit it from the bottom up, and so that light is inadvertently shining into the windows of these rooms in the Doubletree Hotel, which is a Hilton. As you can see there, the bottom of the lanais are being lit up, and at the wall, and then obviously the light is also going into the windows of all of those rooms. And the last one, sky glow, can be seen over densely populated areas It is the combination of all the light escaping up into the sky from all the badly directed light sources in the area. This sky glow can be seen for many miles away from major cities. Sky glow is particularly problematic for astronomers whose ability to observe the night sky is inhibited by the decreased contrast between the stars and the normally black sky. Sky glow can be reduced by selecting lighting fixtures which limit the amount of light that is emitted above the horizontal plane of the light fixture. This is actually a photograph that I took of Waikiki and Honolulu. I took this from Diamond Head Road, and as you can see here, there's a kind of a dome of light that is lighting up the sky above the city there. And as you move all the way away from that, you can actually see some stars up here at the top. But down in this area here where the sky, it's not black. Normally you have stars that are, white stars against a black sky. But obviously you're not going to be able to see any stars down in this area here. And for long exposure astrophotography, obviously this effect is going to be worsened with the long exposure. This is kind of a short exposure. I think this is maybe 1 or 2 seconds. But if you're trying to actually photograph some deep sky objects like galaxies or nebulas where it takes hundreds of seconds of an exposure, then even this seemingly black sky up here is going to end up looking like this in those photographs. So this is a photograph taken from Mauna Kea on the Big Island of Hawaii, where they have the observatories on the summit of the volcano. And this is looking towards Honolulu. So down below the observatories on the Big Island, there are some cities below that are lit here. And then this over here is Maui. That's Haleakala there. And then you can see some light from Maui there. And then even in the further distance, on the other side of Molokai and Lanai, here is Honolulu, 200 miles away, being lit up and visible from the astronomical observatories on the Big Island. Light pollution has been a major concern for astronomers, but now studies are finding that light pollution is having an impact on the environment. Light pollution disturbs the nocturnal patterns of animals, and it has even been linked to breast cancer due to the decreased production of melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone that is produced by a gland in the brain. It dictates your awake sleep patterns, and this melatonin is also helps produce or helps prevent breast cancer. So the gland produces melatonin at night. So if you live somewhere where you have a lot of light coming into your windows at night, your brain might not know to start producing that hormone, and therefore you won't receive the beneficial effects of that hormone. So I know myself, the apartment that I lived in before the one I'm in now, I was on the 27th floor, and I could turn off all my lights, close my curtains, and there was still enough light coming into my apartment, coming up from the street level into my apartment on the 27th floor. Still enough light for me to be able to see, to walk around in my apartment, and even read the calendar on my far wall. Okay, this is the wedge-tailed shearwater bird of Hawaii. On Kauai, they have a program called SOS, Save Our Shearwaters. And the problem there is that these birds, when they leave the nest for the first time, their parents abandon them for several days when it's time for them to leave the nest in order to to get them to leave the nest to go look for food on their own. And so they do this at night. They leave the nest for the first time at night, and they go out over the water in order to feed. And to get there, they follow the brightest light source, which is usually the full moon shining on the water. However, with today's lights, the full moon shining on the water is no longer the brightest light source. So these birds can get confused by other lights. And on the island of Oahu, the Sea Life Park has a rehabilitation center for these birds, where during the season where they do leave the nest, and they get confused by these other lights, and they fly around them all night long, thinking that they're going the right way, which they're not, and they don't make any progress, and they get exhausted and they drop to the ground. And so people find them the next morning laying in their yards or wherever it is, and they pick them up and they bring them to Sea Life Park to be rehabilitated. And so during this season, when they leave the nest between October and January, Sea Life Park receives between 200 and 500 birds each year during their season. So this also affects sea turtles in a similar way, where the sea turtles leave their nest at night and follow the moon shining on the water in order to help them find their way to the ocean. Now these turtles want to make their way to from their nest to the ocean as quick as possible, so that the predators don't find them and eat them. So seabirds and other things that like to eat these guys on their way to the ocean. So the problem there again is with the moon no longer being the brightest light source, the ocean is one way, and the big cities with the bright lights are the opposite direction. And these sea turtles get confused by these other lights, and they can't find their way to the ocean. This picture here on the right shows the trails that these sea turtles hatchlings have made while they're trying to find their way to the ocean. In an area where there is no light pollution, these trails would be a straight line, straight from the nest, straight to the ocean. But in an area where there's light pollution, they're confused, and you can see this little guy here. He just made a loop here. It's a loop. Here's another loop and another loop. So he's just confused. He has no idea which way to go, and he's not making his way to the ocean as he should be. So these seabirds, the sea turtles, and other animals such as the monarch butterflies and certain reptiles in the deserts outside of Las Vegas, these animals have evolved over millions of years to follow these patterns, to follow their, find their way to the ocean by using the full moon. So, this is ingrained in them, in their evolution over millions of years. And so it's only been in the past 100 years where these artificial lights would pose this problem. With the interview that I did with the lady at Sea Life Park who rehabilitates the sea